We are thrilled to have Renee Marino today, Broadway star of Jersey Boys, Hollywood actress, the featured expert in Oprah's Super Soul 100. I mean, internationally acclaimed communication coach. I could keep going and going and going. She's coached executives, celebrities, entrepreneurs, and we're so honored that she comes into the Diva Network and shares with us. So here's what I want to do. Before she speaks, I'm going to count to three, and everyone's going to unmute, and we're going to give her the biggest diva welcome she's ever had because we have so many of you on here. So that way she can bring the energy and pour into us. And so, can you guys all play along today and unmute with the count of three and give her some energy so she can light it up for us? On a count of three, everybody start unmuting, everybody. And on the count of three, one, two, three. Welcome, Renee Marino.
Love you. I love you. I love you.
Oh my God. Now, this is the way I like to enter a space. Just like that. Energy is everything. Jimmy, thank you for that introduction. Yet I have to be very transparent here because there's something in that bio that is actually not true. And here is number one of being a master communicator. We must be in integrity with ourselves. So I would just like to correct you. I have not been on Oprah's Super Soul Sunday list, but it will happen. It's already in the works. I am manifesting, but I want to say that that isn't true. And it's really important for me to say that because if I cannot be in integrity with myself, how can I ever connect with others in a real and a genuine way? And that's what being a master communicator is all about, and showing up as the divas we are. Yes or yes? Unmute yourselves. Let's hear it.
Yes.
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 Powerful.
Absolutely.
Right now we live in a world of digital technology, of artificial intelligence, and it is so beautiful. I mean, it allows us to do things at lightning fast speed. It's a beautiful tool, yet I want you to all understand something so important. No matter how advanced artificial intelligence gets, the one thing AI can never replace is human connection. And in order for us to live our best lives, to have the experiences that we want to have, we must know how to connect with people in a real way. And that's what I'm all about. So I'm here today, and I had the honor of speaking to this beautiful group. I'm not even sure when it was, months back. And I went through my 7-step connect method to use communication to create genuine connections. And what I really want to do today is I want to open up the floor, because one of the most important steps in what I do is step 6, which is step 7, talk from the heart. Speaking up is your superpower. And I want you all to really think about this and let this land. Speaking up is your superpower. And when I say speaking up, I mean asking the questions. I mean addressing a concern. I mean asking a question, asking for what you want. Speaking up is your superpower. So what I want to do right now is open up the floor at the gate and encourage you all, invite you all to speak up, because this is such a gift that you get. Being able to have the capacity to ask questions to different experts, right? To different people who are out there in the world. You know, I'm so honored that I get to speak on stages all over the world as an international keynote speaker. And for years and years, I was a professional actress on Broadway and film and TV. So I've really had the joy of being able to communicate from all different mediums. So I want to hear what questions you have so I can serve you best. So who has a question? Let's see a show of hands. Oh, there are my girls. Do I see Adora and Bree? Hello, ladies.
So hello, and we are so excited and honored to know you and to have you here anchoring in connection. And both you're such a professional and show up so well online, offline, in actress roles and hosting roles. And so first of all, we went through some things to get here. So we want to celebrate you and the opportunity to be with you, right?
We're so happy to have you today, and we're so happy to see everyone here with her. And I would say, just like she's asking, really, really allow it to marinate what questions you could ask about your communication while you have the expert here to answer those things.
Yeah, so a promise at the Diva Network is we're going to bring our top who's in the industry to pull back the curtain and demystify the opportunity and the magic that happens. I know you've got a book, Renee. What is the name of the book? Because I want all of our community to read it together.
Yes, it is called Becoming a Master Communicator. And it is the subtitle of that is Balancing New School Technology with Old School Simplicity. And it's all about how do we stay powerful, authentic communicators in a world that's driven by digital technology. And I'm sure all of us can agree here that we've all had those moments where you're in a conversation or you're at that networking event and that person that you're speaking to is like, yeah, uh-huh. What'd you say? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And all of a sudden you feel shut down, you feel defeated. And think about how that cuts off the connection. Well, through my book and through the practices in there, you learn how to know the right time and place to communicate through digital means and the right time and place to put those devices aside, like in those in-person conversations, and have that more direct face-to-face connection.
Awesome. Lorna, give it up. Come on, y'all are bringing your best
Yay.
energy to this woman who is dedicating her life and her time. Hollywood superstar, Broadway
I wanted to
superstar.
say, on our way to Tobago, I just want to say this really quick. On the way to Tobago, I've read Renee's book. I've had a lot of time with her and grateful for that. But on the way to Tobago, we had booked our flights, me and another woman, to sit near each other and to mastermind before the mastermind together. We really wanted 5 hours together. They're like, sorry, we changed flights. We have nowhere for you to sit. And so the other woman was like, oh, I'm kind of bummed. And I'm like, speaking up is your superpower. Let's go see if we can really speak kindly. And the lady's like, I'm so sorry, there really is no seats. And she's like, well, you know what? I'm like, I just really wanted this time. And I expressed exactly why I wanted the time. And I would really love if she could take the extra effort to try. She goes, let me try for you. And guess what we got? We got 5 hours on the airplane right next to each other. And so thank you for that gift of speaking up in my superpower.
There you go. And that's such a beautiful example, Bree, because speaking up, we need it in every area of our lives, in every area of our lives. And I'll just give you the quick backstory for those of you who weren't here on my first session. Back in 2013, I was performing in Jersey Boys on Broadway, playing Frankie Valli's wife, Mary Delgado. And I look out into the audience, and who do I see but Clint Eastwood staring back at me? And, on Broadway, we would see celebrities all the time. So this was like incredible, but didn't think much of it until they told us that Clint was going to be directing the film version of Jersey Boys. And even at this point, everyone, I didn't think about it because I said, I've never been in TV or film. They're going to hire A-list celebrities out of Los Angeles. Marissa Tomei is going to play my role. So I went about doing 8 shows a week on Broadway, and then they started calling people in from our cast to audition. And an audition is just like an interview. They were looking for someone to play my role of Mary Delgado. So at this point, I'm thinking, that would be great to even just get an audition for this. Like, wow, what a great experience that would be. So I call my agent and I say, hey, can you see if there's a way that I could be called in for an audition? Weeks go by. My agent calls me and she says, Renee, I'm so sorry. I don't know what the problem is. They said they won't give you an audition for Mary, but they'll give you one for one of the smaller roles, one of the angels who sings My Boyfriend's Back. And everyone, I hung up that phone so disappointed and confused because every girl I knew on Broadway was getting an audition for Mary Delgado, but me. And just to really paint this picture here, I was playing this role at the highest level you could. So I'm thinking, how does that not even warrant an audition? So I spent some time feeling my feelings, and then I threw my hands up spiritually, physically. I said, what am I going to do? I'm still going to go in and audition for one of the angels. I go into the audition room that day and the casting director says, Renee, would you like to sing My Boyfriend's Back first or read the scene? And at that moment, everyone, I heard this quiet little voice within say, you have to do this. It feels too right. So I looked at the casting director and I said, Jeff, I was really hoping to come in and read for the role of Mary Delgado. I had no idea what he was going to say. And then he looks back at me and he goes, I was just thinking the same thing. I said, amazing, great. So I did the audition that day and left there feeling so grateful because I got the chance, because I spoke up and gained an opportunity. 2 weeks later, my agent calls me and she says, "You're Mary Delgado in the movie. Clint Eastwood loves you." And I was like, "Woo!" It was one of the most surreal moments of my life. And that first day of filming and every day that followed, I would sit and eat lunch with Clint Eastwood, ask him every question I could, and then listen in a complete way. And a month into the film, we're sitting eating lunch, and it was Clint, the executive producer of the film, and myself, when they began talking about how Clint knew he wanted me for the role when he saw me perform on Broadway. And I said, "Do you guys want to hear a funny story?" I couldn't get an audition for Mary Delgado. The only reason I got to read the scenes is because I opened up my big mouth in the room and asked. And the two of them looked at each other and they said, "What do you mean? We requested you." We said, "We want the girl from the Broadway show to come into this audition." Imagine my surprise. If I did not have the ability to speak up and communicate my desire in the room that day, I could have missed my once in a lifetime opportunity. I could have been sitting in the movie theater watching Jersey Boys instead of on the screen in Jersey Boys, never knowing that Clint Eastwood was waiting for me to walk through the door. So, divas, my divas, I ask you, how many people are waiting for you to walk through their door? Well, this is the importance and the power of speaking up. And this is why I'm so passionate about it and why I want to hear your questions now. So speak up, challenge yourself, right? Even if you're afraid, that's the time to do it. Raise your hand. You could ask me the silliest question in the world. There is no silly question
We're-
because you're challenging yourself. You're stepping outside your comfort zone, and that's where the beauty of life resides. Hi, Courtney.
Wait, right before
Hold
Courtney.
on.
Go, Courtney, Lorna was next and her hand lowered. So I want to call on Lorna. Thank you.
Hi, Lorna.
Hi, Renee. Great to
Hello.
see you again.
You
I was
too.
actually going to ask you to share your story, and then
I
you
read your
started
mind,
sharing the
girlfriend.
story. So here's my next thing. So can you remind us what the 7 steps were? Because a lot of people here are new, and I don't remember all of them. So that would be a
Yes.
great lead in
Yeah.
to the other questions.
You got it, my friend. P.S. I love your top. I love leopard. Okay, so get your pens out and your papers, and you're going to jot these down, okay? This is a great refresher, and for those of you who weren't here the first time. So this is my 7-step connect method to help you use communication to create genuine connections. All right. So, step 1, the most important of all communication is the communication you have with yourself. So, here's a simple practice to use every day to start to create this communication with yourself. Because let's face it, everyone, we're so distracted. We wake up in the morning, we roll over to our nightstand, we grab our phone, we check our emails, we scroll on social media. I call it the good old S&C, scroll and compare, where you're looking into the lives of other and then comparing yourselves against their perceived realities and then wonder why you don't feel good about yourself. It's because we're moving further away from who we are and what's going on within. So ask yourself, how am I feeling? And then take 5 to 10 minutes to put pen to paper to write the answer. And what this does is start to activate the subconscious mind, which actually runs the show, by the way, in our lives. And it pulls those thoughts from your subconscious into your conscious through your hand and onto the page. And it becomes this beautiful spiritual dump, giving you clarity around what's really going on, giving you a more powerful connection with yourself. And when you're connected with yourself, you can connect with others in a real way, not an edited version of you, a filtered version of you, you in your real, authentic self. So, step 1, communication with self. Step 2, own who you are. I love this step. Just saying it empowers me. Own who you are. And what this means, ladies and a few gentlemen, is that in order to communicate and connect effectively with others, we have to own our full selves. And that means not just sharing the parts of ourselves that we're proud of, our wins, our accolades. Oh, I've done this, and this is my resume. But also sharing those parts of yourself that you often want to hide the most, your vulnerabilities. sharing that you experience anxiety, sharing that you have this certain fear, because what that does is, number one, it lets others know 4 of the most powerful words the human spirit can hear and understand. You are not alone. We let others know they're not alone in their struggles. And it shows that we are human, right? Like, you may look at me up here and you're like, oh, she's the expert. Guess what, you guys? I'm wearing Invisalign, okay? It's my first time doing Invisalign. Guess what I did? Threw out my tray. So yesterday I had to call my dentist in a panic. I need to order a new tray. So let me tell you, I am far from perfect, okay? Do I deal with anxiety? Yes. Do I know what it feels like to grieve in a deep way, losing my father, facing so much loss? Yes. And when we share those parts of ourselves, we connect with others on a deeper level. Step 3, nail down your information. Before you go to meet someone, you have a conversation, a meeting with someone. We're in the age of information. Hop on LinkedIn, hop on their social media, learn a few things about them, because there's nothing more impressive or telling than when a person takes the time to learn a bit about you. That's like when someone comes up to me and they're like, Renee, I just want you to know, I can't believe you went to Wagner College. I went to Wagner College as well. I graduated a few years before you, but I'm always like, wow, thank you. Like, that makes me feel so good. You took time to learn about me a little bit. Boom, that's how we connect. So nail down your information. Take the time to learn. And you also do this by asking questions. Okay, research shows high question askers are perceived to be more responsive and are better liked. So I call it my 3 levels deep. When you ask a question to someone, and instead of just saying, "Oh, what do you do?" Go 2 other levels deep. What do you do? Why did you choose that industry? And then how? What? Why? How? How do you feel that makes an impact in the world, right? It shows sincere interest. All right, so that's step 3 of the Connect method. Step 4, next level storytelling. When you meet someone, when you are in a conversation, just like what I just did, I shared my story with you of getting the role of Mary in the film, right? It hopefully makes you feel a little more connected to me. You understand why I'm passionate now about speaking up, about communication. So when you meet others, share a story about why you do what you do, why you began your business. Share a pivotal moment story. That is step 4 of the Connect method. We connect through storytelling. Step 5, one of my favorites, energize through movement. We have to move our bodies. See, when we move our bodies, we transform that stale energy into fuel to help us focus, to connect. Yes? So before you hop on that important meeting, before you go to a networking event, before you meet someone for coffee, move your body, whatever way feels good. Go for a walk, ground yourself outside in the grass, take your shoes off, move your body, energize through movement. Step 6, complete listening, listening to hear and not just to respond. When we listen in a complete way, it's a two-way gift. We give the person who's speaking an open platform to be heard, while we ourselves gain the gift of learning something new, gaining a new perspective, or what I think is most beautiful, realizing we're more alike than we are different. And it's like I shared earlier, when you're in a conversation, make eye contact, put that phone out of sight. Not even just flipped over, out of sight, because a study was done called the iPhone effect that looked at 2 people in a conversation with the cell phone present. Even though neither person looked at the phone, neither person picked up the phone, still that phone proved to be a distraction. So put that phone out of sight. And the last step of the Connect method, talk from the heart. If you haven't realized it, Connect is an acronym. So the T is talk from the heart, because speaking up is your superpower. And we've already expressed that point. So to go back through those 7 steps, step 1, communication with self. Step 2, own who you are. Step 3, next, nail down your information. Step 4, next level storytelling. Step 5, energize through movement. Step 6, complete listening. And step 7, talk from the heart, because speaking up is your superpower. See, I sing when I get excited because that's just what my energy wants to do. So that's what I do. So there you have it. 7-step connect method.
Awesome. First of all, I want to see in the chat and the love and the emojis and the movement and of what you're gaining from this right now. Let's be generous with Renee and participate by giving some love, all of the things. Wonderful. So Renee, we are, first of all, so grateful and thankful for you. I know you're going to have some more dialogue here. I know we're getting your book and going to be discussing it among the divas. I would love for a link or the title to go in the chat so that, and we'll also email it out. We're in Tobago right now, Trinidad and Tobago, and we're going to be filming with Jeff Hoffman, and you know, Bree is here, and we've been masterminding all morning. So I'd just like to take a few minutes to tell you all about the Diva Network. Is that okay, Renee, if I do a short sponsored by the Diva Network? Okay, great. And then we're going to be getting on a glass bottom boat to go check out local Tobago, Trinidad, and then we have a dance troupe coming to perform for us later tonight.
I love that.
You are a dancer and a singer and a mover and a shaker, which I love so much. So we're here in this room, and if you were invited here, DRIVEN is an acronym. I'd love to see everybody, if that's okay. DRIVEN is DIVA is an acronym, and it means driven, inspiring, visionary, authentic. And the S is for sisterhood, but as you see, we have the men who support us as well. We had Mad Stuntman who's saying, I like to move it, move it. He said, hey, I'm a Devo, and the O is for original. And so our commitment is to gather people like you. And if someone invited you here, it's because they see you as that person, driven, inspiring, visionary, authentic. And we believe that above any AI tool, above any new method, that it is always going to be a connection with a who that opens the door to what's next. Whether that's the best preschool for your child, the best AI prompt, the best in how to communicate powerfully in an authentic way from a Renee Marino. It's always going to be a who. And so our most valuable asset is this community and our connection to one another and who you are and who you align with. So thank you for being who you are, that you were even invited to this space. It says a lot about how you operate in the world. Another one of our commitments is bringing those people to you, pulling back the curtains so you can have access, glean the tools, the information, the things, the collaborations that collapse time. And so that's what you're experiencing right now, is the opportunity to do that, to meet each other, to connect. What we're experiencing is some of the in-person adventuring, glamoring, enjoyment while we're doing a similar thing. And then you see Alexandra Labar, we're doing locals, Diva local meetings. And so from the outside looking in, what business people would say that we are is a high-level networking group with lots of opportunity to be on stages, get into media, get distribution. But the reality is, those of us who are here go, no, we're a global movement and we're here for the transformation of the planet, because we collapse time as we lock arms together. And so there's an invitation for you to come here and join us anytime on Tuesdays, as long as we're doing that. But if you're resonating with what's happening here and you want to go deeper, you want more doors open, you want to be able to collaborate more deeply through being in community, not a one-off who's here, what can I get, what can I give, and I'm out, but a deeper community. Johnny's here with us in Tobago. Welcome the men who support us on the, and he truly has, we've been on an adventure here. then we're inviting you to come into this community. And I will say community first, because again, that is the most valuable part. No matter what happens in the next 10 years, is going to be who's in the room, who knows you, who you know, and those divine appointments that collapse time through collaboration and connection. And there are some valuable perks. So if you become a founder here, may I tell you a little bit about the perks of a founder and then give it back to our lovely Renee? Yes. I'm not going to move till I see some, yes, give it to me. Give it
Yes.
to me. That sweet, that, right. Songs come up.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So some of the perks are that we meet weekly on Tuesdays. Then we have a Thursday deeper dive where we go in with Q&A, questions, access to our who's with deeper training, with their eyes on what it is that's going on in your world. And then a full hour of networking and collaborating. And then we have opportunities for you to join us, like here in Tobago or in September. We have a founders trip where Mad Stuntman will be with us singing I Like to Move It, Move It. And he's also going to sing the Diva songs. We're going to record content together, make deals on dance floors and pools, around great food and experiences. So you get those invitations. You get the opportunity to speak on our stage. How many of you spoke on the last stage we put together? Raise your hand or give a heart or what. So that we had Sharon Lecter, Lisa Nichols. We had over 2,000 people watching live on Facebook alone. And so people got to own their communication like Renee is empowering you to do and got to be on the stages. So I hope you hear we're going, how can we open the doors that we've learned to open and bring you to that platform? So we have another one coming up in December. So those of you who become founders, you'll be able to do that. So if you don't know the answer, I want you to imagine with what I've just shared, high-level connections, which by the way, we've had 5 divas get funded. We've had people get distribution on QVC for their products. We've had a woman find the funding for her coffee farm, as well as the farm, all in a very short time. So I want you to just guess, what does that cost per year if we were to give you a price and we open doors, high-level connections, collapse time, put you on the stage with some of the top leaders? Someone just put a number in the chat. That juicy stuff. Priceless. I love that answer. I love that answer. I'm just going to wait for one number and then I'll give you the number. So someone jump in there and give me a number. 50K. Thank you, Lorna, because we have spent it and it was well worth it. 100,000, 100,000. We did the 6 figures, 1,147 a year is what the investment is, because we are committed that driven leaders, no matter what country, no matter what place, get to have access to collapsing time. And that when we do that, that we have a world that works for everyone, because you each have a vision for children, for marriages, for relationships, for communication, for art, for dance, for expression. And that when we lock arms as visionary leaders, we have the shared dream come into reality, where we have a world that works for everyone powerfully and thriving. So I want you to get back to the person that invited you and stay in your seat, but run to join us as soon as this is over. Spin in circles, because we would love to know you. And what happens, Lisa Nichols says it so well, is it becomes a place where superheroes can take their capes off and we learn, grow, and thrive together. All right, I love you all. And I'm going to honor Renee's time and bring it back to you, Renee, to land this plane however you like. Normally we have networking at the end, but I know you are very busy. You lead on Tony Robbins stages, you speak at Aspire Tour, and you've dedicated some time to be with us here. So as much time as you can and are willing to give us, I want to allow for that, and we will pivot what we normally do today.
Thank you so much, Adora. That means a lot to me. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, right after this, I actually hop on because I'm hosting Sage Robbins' big virtual event, She's Unstoppable Summit. So we have our first bonus pre-session today, but I needed to meet with my divas first. I was like, this is so important to me. So again, I want to open up the floor now that I went through the 7 steps. I do have about 15 minutes-ish. So if we have some questions, please, now's the time.
Let's open up the door and everybody say hi, hi, say hi, bye guys. Say hello, hello to the divas and Renee. Okay, so we're gonna go on an excursion. You're in the most amazing hands with Renee, Jemmy, and JKN. I love you all. Thank you, Renee. I'm humbled and honored to have you here. Thank you, love.
So, Dr. Andrea, I know your hand is raised, but you're off camera. So if I don't call on you first, and I think you were first anyway, I will forget. So you ask your question first, and then we'll go through the line.
Yes, it is a challenge to me to be on camera with my disease I'm facing now. But Renee, you touched my heart when you mentioned about vulnerability. Then I said, I'll be on camera and I'll show up as I am now. My question for you is, how can women in underserved or traditional communities, I'm meeting a lot of them here in Brazil, in underserved or traditional communities, begin applying your 7 steps to create visibility and also change their communities globally?
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, I want to say I am so proud of you because talk about taking action. Everyone unmute yourself and give it up. Give it up. Let's show love, because the fact that you got on camera, even though you were afraid, right? Even though you felt uncomfortable, even though you're like, oh, this disease, guess what? You did it anyway. And I want to share a little secret with you all that will change the trajectory of your life. We often think that confidence comes first, action comes second, right?
Yep.
We all do. We're like, oh, I'm going to feel good. I want to wait till I lose 30 pounds. I want to wait till this patch isn't on my eye. I want to wait till my accent goes away, right? Before I get on camera, before I introduce myself. Hell no.
Yeah.
You do. The trick is, and the secret is, it's action comes first. Imperfect action comes first. Confidence comes second, baby. Because the minute you do something, just like Andrea just did, something that's scary and uncomfortable, all of a sudden you go, wow, I did it. Little nugget of self-confidence gets developed. Then you do it again, and another nugget of self-confidence is developed. And slowly but surely, those nuggets of self-confidence start building upon each other until it's an armor of self-belief, baby. And you start taking imperfect action after imperfect action. And then what happens is you look back at your life and you go, oh my God, I can't believe how far I've come. I achieved this goal. It was scary as hell. I didn't love the way I looked on video, but I did it. And that is the secret to success. So Andrea, I'm so proud of you, and I hope you will use these 7 steps to help others. Your video the sound was cutting in and out a little bit, so I wasn't sure if there was a specific question that you were asking. If you were, can you write it in the chat? Because you were just cutting out a little bit.
I posted in the chat. Sorry, I was very emotional, and
No,
to be in
don't.
front of you is really
Oh, do not.
Thank you for everything.
You are so welcome, and don't ever apologize for getting emotional, because again, that's step 2 of what I talk about, owning who you are. We're freaking human beings, everybody. Let's stop pretending that we're the robots. That's what AI is for. Let them be the robots. We are humans who cry, who get depressed, who get anxious, who get fearful. And we need to break that stigma that we can't have emotions. No. You have your emotions. So I'm going to read your question. How can women in underserved or traditional communities begin applying your 7 steps to create visibility and change around their communities? Andrea, exactly the way it's laid out. First is step 1. Having these women encourage them to start journaling, pen to paper, right? Starting to get clear on themselves and what they want and who they are. And the more that they start bringing this to light, one of my favorite quotes is by Gandhi, be the change you wish to see in the world. Well, I love creating real connections with people. I love genuine people. I love authenticity. So I have to live it first, right? So Andrea, encouraging these women in these countries, and you're in Brazil, just start sharing these steps, right? And encouraging them to start small, first with the writing, then just starting to make conversations with other people in the communities, and going to step 3, which is nail down your information, starting to learn a little bit about someone before you connect with them, and slowly but surely just applying these steps. And by them applying it, they're going to start to open up the eyes of community members. Does that make sense?
Yes, 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 yes. It makes sense. Thank you. And I think intuition plays a big role there too, as women, right? We need to really bring
Yes.
our feminine energy, our intuition, our heart-centered feeling. And that's what brought me here
Yes.
also to speak to you. I appreciate that. I love you.
I
I
love
love you
you.
so much.
I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much. Hello, Simone.
Hello, Renee. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story and your experience and your 7 steps. Just listening to your experience, it's got my heart like racing out of my chest right now, because like what you are sharing, I am a thriver, hashtag thrive, post domestic abuse. So I'm a domestic violence survivor, but I'm also a woman in this society, and I'm also an actress. So you compound all of those things, and it makes using your voice very difficult, almost impossible sometimes. So my question is, if you've naturally done all this work and you've gotten to the point where you're used to like using your voice for yourself and for others, and life throws you for a loop, and you're focusing on other things, but you get back to the point where you want to use your voice and you step back into that spotlight to use it, and it's like, where did this anxiety come from? Why am I afraid? What do you do in that moment if you're standing there with the mic in your hand? You're standing there and your mic is on and it's time to speak, or you're standing there on camera and you're just like frozen. What have you ever had an experience like that, and what do you do?
Abso-freaking-lutely, girl. That's why I could speak on it. Yes. And okay, first of all, I have a couple of things to say. First of all, I honor you for being so vulnerable and sharing this with me and all of us. This is what I'm talking about, owning who you are. And Simone, I just want to say this, what you just shared with me, being a thriver, this is what I want you to start talking about on social media, on short clip videos, because do you know how many other women are in a similar situation and they feel alone, and you could be the answer to their problem? And this is how I get myself out of anxiety. Because you better believe I still get nervous all the time. I'm going to speak after I speak to you all. Ladies, I'm just telling you, I'm going to speak in front of hundreds, thousands of women, all who signed up for this free summit. She's unstoppable. I'm going to be nervous. But this is what I remind myself. It's not about me.
Mhm.
It is not about me. And when we take the focus off of ourselves and you start to remind yourself, Simone, wait, it doesn't matter if my voice cracks. It doesn't matter if like my heart's beating out of my chest. I need to share my story, because if I don't, I may be denying someone else the solution to their problem. And I know what that woman feels like. And I know the struggle she's in. And if I hold this within me because I'm afraid, because I'm too nervous, because I don't like the way I sound, I'm taking away from her thriving.
Mhm.
So the first thing is, in that moment, when if you get nervous, it could be you up on stage. You know what? One of the greatest things that you can do is
Mhm.
call it out. Whew, okay, I'm just going to take a second because I'm a little bit nervous here. I'm sure others can understand having a microphone in your hand in front of 30 people is nerve-wracking. And what that does is it breaks the silence, it breaks the tension, and all of a sudden, without you knowing it, you're connecting with your audience.
Mhm.
And that's it. because we need to hear your story. I'm just looking at you. Your face is so lit up, so beautiful. I right now am your validation to put yourself out there and to share this story. And just think of my voice in your head saying imperfect action, imperfect action. That's been the key to all my success, by the way. I don't think I've ever just been calm and like, la-di-da. No, I'm always like, okay, what do I have to do? But I do it imperfectly. And when you do it imperfectly, that's where you develop the confidence to keep moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You are so welcome. And for all of you, I'm going to put my Instagram handle. Come follow me on Instagram and, DM me. Let me know that you were on the training. And, if you have any questions, let me know. And again, you can be a part of my weekly community, my weekly newsletter. If you're interested, just let me know. You can DM me and let me know if you want to be a part of that. All right, who is next? Courtney.
Hi, Renee.
Hello.
Courtney here. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for your share. Extremely encouraging and inspirational. I lost my father as well, January 2022.
Yeah.
Very similar, right?
Yeah, right at the end of 2019. So
yep.
Feel you.
Before COVID, I mean, all of it. So my father was off and on suicidal my whole life. So I left corporate America, and I just feel like I've totally been living out his legacy ever since. Like we had this massive spiritual, crazy, like jaw-dropping experience prior to him getting the diagnosis and then passing 12 days later. And then he showed up in a dream and he hugged me for 5 minutes 2 days after he passed. So I've been like this spiritual gangster ever since he passed away, and like my life is more magical, and he's right here. His energy's alive. So my question for you, because suicidal ideation is a big topic, and I can imagine you're living your dad's legacy like every day, like the values that they taught and so forth. So yeah, I'm currently like, my mission is I'm going to swear, so unapologetically, I help women unfuck the fuckery with like high frequency so they can finally live a life they love. And I do that through products, placemats, yoga mats, online coaching, speaking engagements, and wellness retreats. So I have a big retreat in September for women. 15 are coming all over from the world and or from the country. But I'm super excited. So my question for you would be, with something like that, the authentic part is sharing, like, hey, I've been there. I can hold this space, right? Like I've dealt with a Marine who has had those thoughts. And so, but I also want to protect my emotional energy, right? With those big topics and big hard conversations. So we can do hard things, we can have hard conversations, we can, right? We are these women that nurture and love ourselves and then others. So with that topic of conversation, I feel that, yeah, I guess would love to have your feedback, your expertise in this area, because it's a big one. I think more people feel this way or have had those thoughts, whether they're going through divorce or massively grieving or can't imagine their life like in any other way. What has been your experience, and how can I continue to coach these beautiful women? Maybe not promote that, or do I promote that and say, hey, this is me, like this, I can hold this space, right? Mm-hmm. Like this is a big topic of conversation, but it's still very much, I don't feel, it's mental health. It's right. It's kind of that interesting kind of cusp and fine line.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, I don't know if that all makes sense, but yeah.
So important, because I say this a lot, when someone's going through something in the mental sense, people often don't have the same level of compassion than when it's something physical that they can see, right? Because it's in your mind, you're having these thoughts, these feelings, right? It's almost like when you say, like, I feel so insecure, and someone's like, oh, please, you're beautiful. You have nothing. And you're like, no, but you don't understand. Like this, it's what I feel inside. And it's very hard because we alone are experiencing it, right? Like I can't be in your head, you can't be in mine.
Right.
So what it sounds like to me is this is part of your purpose to be able to bring this to light as you just, I mean, the way you just expressed it to me, you touched upon it in such a beautiful way. And as you were speaking, I was like, this is it. You're already doing it. You just did it to me and to this whole community, the way you brought it up. So this is what I would say. The fact that you have such experience with this, and this is something that millions and millions of people struggle with and struggle even to the next level because it's not talked about. This looks to me like a little bit of part of your purpose. And we go through what we go through to grow through and to share, right? And what I'm seeing from you, and I'm hallucinating that in your heart, you feel that this is something that you do need to speak about. And even though there is a stigma around it, right? There will always be a stigma if someone doesn't break the stigma. And just like if you have rheumatoid arthritis, and we have people who are talking about that all over the world, well, this is also a sort of a struggle. It's a struggle, and just touching upon it in this delicate way. And then maybe on your retreats and when you're coaching one-on-one, always ask permission. We can go deeper with this if you wish. Obviously, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. If you need that kind of deep work, please seek out that help. But I'm also here to understand. Does that help?
Yeah, it does help. I think that it's the straddle too, because you've been on Broadway, you've been here, you're like filming. I mean, it's like the spoke of the wheel, and we got all these different spokes. And it's like, do I want to focus on one, or well, I want to focus on all of them because it's way more fulfilling.
Well, this is
So,
what I'll say.
yeah.
So I'll say this, and this is for everyone, and this is really important to remember. As a coach, as a business owner, two of the most important questions you can ask yourself is what problem am I solving and who am I solving it for? So, Courtney, if your question is you're like, I don't know if that's just what I want my focus to be, I get that. And what I would say is to find that, ask yourself these three questions. What's my low-hanging fruit, right? For example, am I helping women who are in transition? Am I helping veterans? Like, what's your lowest hanging fruit as far as audience? And then same thing with the problem.
Mhm.
When it comes to you having your own business coaching, you want to make sure A, you love doing it. B, it's going to be something that is a source of income for you. So you want to make sure that it's an audience that would be willing to invest in themselves. And number three, you want to make sure that it is a problem that people are actually having and coming to you with. As opposed to what I'm saying is sometimes we know because we're experts that people have an issue, but if they don't think they have the issue, it's 10 times harder to try to get them to work with you. So I would say start there. Identify for yourself the problem that you want to solve and who you want to solve it for. And then that could be a part of what you do, but maybe not the entirety of it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I actually did that. Do you know Zach? What's his last name? But I was on the hot seat with Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within, our Project Next Level, like 3-4 years ago.
Yep.
And I had made these placemats, and then I'll be done. With my dad, I had promised him, I'm like, even if it's a total bust, Dad, I'm going to launch him, right? Because this is our legacy. And my dad would make me write gratitude, 100-word essays on gratitude, 100-word essays on respect, So anyway, these are placemats that I built for him. And it's all these values around the placemat. So in real estate, you're like, wait, there's all this real estate around the placemat that you're not being utilized. So I was like, Zach, the problem I solve is like deep and utter connection with these children because everyone's not connecting anymore. There's not enough like sit down meals. There's not enough like family connection anymore. And then he was like, okay, Court, well, that's awesome. But then what does that problem solve? And like my whole body just shifted and like went into my heart. And I was like, oh my gosh, emotionally, that solves the problem of these kids feeling so seen and heard that they're validated, loved, appreciated, right? Like sanctuary, safe space around the table, that they'll never even have suicidal ideation on their radar. So like the placemats are such a beautiful tool to like the overall, you know, women. Yes, we're going to help women now and coach them, but what about the kids and like giving them that from the get-go? So you can imagine for me, it's like kids, women, moms. So my girls are 9 and 11. So that's, yeah, I was just curious from, you know, that's a big topic. It always kind of intertwines and gets sprinkled in there, but to go full blown in that specific spoke of the wheel, I think what I hear you saying is I got it. It was like, hey, I'm open to supporting you in this area, you know, if you want to go deeper, but probably not like that's not the dartboard. That's not the dartboard. Yeah.
Exactly. And think about this phrase for everyone. Give them what they want, deliver what they need. Okay? So for instance, with me, right? Really what I'm helping people with is get back to real connection. But people usually don't come to me to say, I need help with connection. They need help communicating. But so I'm giving them what they want. I'm helping them communicate effectively. But what I'm giving them is what they need. They need to know how to connect. You could use all the right words and communication tools, but if you're not connecting in a real way, none of that matters. So give them what they want, deliver what they need.